We're about to join another amazing talk, but just before we do, I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, speakers, and you, our wonderful audience, for making this event possible. With expert presentations and inspirational discussions on the agenda, you are in for a real treat today. Please ensure you are sharing your feedback and asking all questions in the comment section of the video, as our speakers will be answering them throughout their session. After the event, a great place to continue the conversation is in the Customer Marketing Alliance Slack channel, where you will be able to connect with peers, get access to fresh content, and discover new opportunities. I'll be posting the sign-up link regularly in the comments, so if you're not already involved, keep your eyes peeled and join the discussion. And remember, you can gain on-demand access to all of our exclusive event footage with a CMA Pro membership. So with all this in mind, let's dive back in.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. So great to see many familiar faces in the room today. I am Diana Gambrovano. I am a co-founder and the CMO of Advocacy Maven. We are a niche marketing agency focused on building relationships between people and brands. We build and manage programs for organizations around the world, as well as create content in more than 30 languages. Today, I'll be talking about why personalization is needed in customer programs, and also how to leverage it to strengthen customer relationships. Over the next 20 minutes or so, I will dive into the market context of customer programs today, discuss why personalization is increasingly important in delivering value, and I will cover a few important milestones in customer programs and provide some tips on how we can personalize each of them. I hope you find a lot of value in the conversation. We will open for Q&As at the end, but you can also reach out directly on social. If you would like to discuss further, you know where to find me. All right, let's go. Although most of you will be familiar with this already, I want to start with a rough definition, maybe for the new people in the room. Customer programs are any business initiative that intends to form a connection between a brand and the customer. That was short and sweet. They exist to serve customers. They exist to empower members in how they use a product or solution. They exist to give members a voice. That's it. Engagement, loyalty, advocacy, all of those should be just natural consequences of forging strong, authentic relationships with your customers. If done right, according to Gartner, customer programs are extremely valuable for members. And I would sustain that for brands alike. They provide that sense of value and connection that customers seek, but can also have an immense impact on key business performance indicators, such as ticket deflection, revenue generation, and of course, customer satisfaction. I'm preaching to the choir in this audience, I'm sure. Without any doubt, you already know that customer programs are a win-win for users and brands. Yet, we've all seen some of these scenarios happen, maybe in our programs. Customers agreeing to reference plan and then ghosting the specific requests for reference, even if we think they apply or they matter. Or speaking with agencies and press about their success, doing a case study or a press release or a video, but unable to get publishing approval internally for the materials created. Communities that were launched with great success where engagement fades after a few months. Referral programs that receive very few referrals, and loyalty programs that elicit no delight. So why does this happen if customer programs make people feel so valued? I often rely on LinkedIn's Job on the Rise report to give me a pulse of the market to understand what's happening. So I looked at the last few ones. The 2021 edition was all about the changes that have taken place as a result of COVID. Digital marketing and digital transformation jobs were quite high on the list in 2021, maybe something predictable given that we all changed our buying behaviors from in-store to online. Yet, during the peak of a global pandemic, the need for medical professional was the only one that surpassed the need for digital marketing, digital transformation, and digital content. That was a bit surprising. The 2022 LinkedIn Jobs on the Rise list, they looked past the point-in-time COVID crisis and listed the 25 fastest growing job titles over the past 5 years. 5 years. And they intended to show trends that define the future world of work, the future of work. I'm sure it's not surprise to this audience that customer marketing is in place number 3. It was much touted on social, everybody that follows hashtag customer marketing. What I found surprising though was that again, the need for customer marketing is surpassed only by the most key global reasons for social distress. Vaccine development was number 1 on the list, and diversity and inclusion jobs are the number 2 on the list. So if the priorities of this world over the past 5 years and in the future are healthcare, social fairness, and customer marketing, it means to me that the competition between companies looking to engage people in their programs is greatly increasing. I can't say greatly now. At a time when the economy is experiencing turmoil like it hasn't seen in decades, there's also a huge pressure on us, on the professionals, to be engaged with our vendors, to learn, to network, to have a voice, to contribute, to support peers, to boost brands, to be in the spotlight, to shape the product vision, to refer, to advocate. All of these are for sure immensely valuable win-win opportunities, but often ignored completely or abandoned early because the value is not clearly stated and the asks are so many and they feel overwhelming. A deeper level of personalization, I will make the case today, has to be the new strategy that accompanies customer programs if we intend to make them successful in the challenging years to come. So let's look at how we can apply personalization in a few key areas that are common to most customer programs. Before launching a new program, we have some homework to do. That homework is for figuring out who the program is for and what's in it for them. Inbound marketing has proven extremely efficient for decades now. It attracts the right prospects, nurtures them to become clients. And that's because inbound marketers use segmentation to build a strong understanding of buyer personas and journeys and leverage those to offer the helpful, relevant content to prospective customers when they want, over many channels, repeatedly showing those messages, always having content available for people with a challenge. When prospects become customers, though, many customer marketers rely on buyer persona or continue to rely on them and add some insight from customer-facing colleagues to source info. And that's pretty much it. So here's a few tools we can borrow from the inbound toolkit to better understand our audience and build more clear value proposition. Of course, buyer personas are a great start. As I said, many people still use them. They give you the basic info like roles and demographics, pain points that customers are looking to solve, career aspirations. Almost always, the audience of your customer programs are the same people who purchased or at least influenced the purchase decision. They have different needs now, but they're the same humans as before, and a lot of effort was already invested in building the buyer persona. Leverage that research, but also factor in the changes, the life cycle changes. Use analytics to understand how existing customers use your website, what keywords are they searching for, what education materials are most accessed. Again, check analytics for info on how they use your products, what devices and browsers do they access from. They're more likely use the same for program content. Leverage surveys that were conducted in the past. What feedback did your customers give to the business? What pain points did they list? Use post-sale data that you have to add some color, how long it takes for customers to implement the product after purchase, how many tickets do they raise on average, what are the most asked questions in those tickets or most asked causes for support. Go on discussion forums and social. Many forums collate common questions people have about a topic, about your product, about your company. And social media groups around interests can also be very insightful. You will see people freely expressing their opinions there. Speak to as many customers as possible, and of course, also sanity check your conclusions with colleagues. Customer success, user experience, martech, everyone can bring color to your persona. Leverage your data to inform the best programs for each persona, the best channel to reach them, the right value proposition, and the content that you need to create for program promotion. In inbound, content is still king. We use websites, we use brochures, white papers, data sheets, blogs, videos, God knows it, webinars. We have expert opinions, explainers, ads, and so much more to put a solution in front of a client. In customer programs, however, I often see marketers believe an invitation email should be enough. It's not. While the win-win of customer programs, it's obvious to us, it takes content and consistency to bring the client to the same conclusion. I've often seen this framework used in advocacy. I thought I'd drop it here for everyone. It's also a great asset for other reward-based customer programs. This framework was developed by Forrester, and it empowers marketers to understand the general motivators for which hand raisers give their time to the brand. They're split into educators, validators, status seekers, and collaborators, and they have different motivations for participating in the program and will care for different rewards. You can use this framework or any other industry best practice as an extra layer of personality to your proprietary data. And of course, the next step is to understand which of your programs will benefit each persona most. Some may still need a lot of product education. Some may already be advisory board level. Whatever the case, today's professionals, me and you, we want the same personalized experience when we are clients on behalf of our employer, just like when we are consumers in private life. Professionals demand information that's tailored to their product adoption journey. They want it in the moment when they have an active interest. They demand multi-channel experiences. And they expect you to have programs for their entire journey, not to only get invited when they're ready to advocate. Only by meeting those needs, all of those needs, do you have a chance at winning their time and loyalty. No pressure. All right, so to summarize this section, I think it's extremely important to understand and document the needs of your customers and tailor your value props to each persona in order to make your initiative appealing. On to recruitment. Research shows that average consumer attention span has dropped again in 2022 to just 8 seconds. Not surprising, the entire planet is navigating challenging times. That's why marketing always tries new types of content for capturing attention. Short bursts, easy to parse layouts, formats that can match our real-time thinking. Think TikTok videos, YouTube shorts, Insta stories, swipe documents, teasers, one-pagers, explainers, big statements, colorful buttons, GIFs and emojis, attention-grabbing CTAs. Yet in customer programs, many marketers rely primarily on email for product promotion. It's not bad, email often hits the box. Sometimes there are product brochures and forums to capture interest, and many times customer-facing teams will mention programs during during client interaction. But I believe there's still room to grow in marketing, grow our recruitment flows, make them more appealing and personalized. So let's look at some channels where recruitment messaging can be inserted. Again, borrowing a page from inbound marketing tactics. Marketing automation, I'll come to that in the future. Site optimization, it can show existing customers different content versus new visitors. Make it easier for clients to find education, communities, best practices, loyalty programs. Don't show them the same prospect content. Retargeting is a big one. Ads budgets are almost exclusively allocated to prospecting. If there's money bandwidth, experiment with retargeting. Teasers and calls to actions everywhere. At the end of training, in how-to videos, best practice documents, support team email signatures, at the end of post-ticket surveys, really everywhere. Content is a big one. Have business leaders record videos, blog about your programs, talk about their benefits, have keynote sessions or mention them in keynote sessions, release press statements. Customers are more likely to listen if the message looks less like marketing and more like business. You can also use traditional inbound tools, in-product pop-ups, forms, knowledge bases, explain the program benefits in knowledge bases, let them search, explain who the program is for, use chatbots for responding to questions about the enrollment criteria, or use chatbots and ticket deflection to help with login issues. Email remains, of course, an easy win. Marketing automation, I said I will mention it. If a prospect downloads a piece of content, they end up in nurturing flows, and those are made to move them through to the funnel. Personalize those flows or change them so that customers who download gated content from your website, they're added to campaigns that promote relevant customer programs. All right, in summary, recruitment channels, very important. Possibilities are endless if we just think outside the inbox. Cheesy, but I just had to say it. All right. If we nailed value prop and inserted inbound CTAs everywhere, it should be a matter of time until we have a steady flow of customers looking to join the program. Professionals want the value we promised during the recruitment, for sure. They're looking for it, but they will not stick around for long if we don't get to the point fast. Attention span is down again this year. Don't waste time and money creating content that will be skipped or ignored or avoided, or even worse, content that triggers unsubscribes. Also, don't rush in with the asks. Customer programs are for the customer. Despite the pressure we get to deliver references, referrals, and reviews, customer programs are about building those relationships, establishing credibility, delivering value, developing trust, and so on, helping the customers connect with your brand. Growth and advocacy will only happen on that foundation of trust. So, stealing a book from Inbound again, think about the flywheel. The attract, engage, convert model successfully turns prospects into customers since a decade or so. And since imitation is the highest form of flattery, I'd really like to absorb this, the flywheel, and make it a customer programs framework for customizing member journeys and converting them into the happy, renewing customers we want them to be, maybe even advocates. Let me see if I can do this. Can I show? Okay, I can use this to show. So after recruitment, that initial enthusiasm is the right moment to remind clients why they joined, restating that value proposition, and start showing results. No attention span available for fluff. Once they fully grasp the benefits, start nurturing them, going around the wheel, taking them into the right steps to achieve success with the program, then grow the relationship. So let's take a few examples. If this is an education program, we would reiterate what competence members can accomplish by completing the first course or module. The content is the actual course, and nurturing would be small reminders on how close they are to completion. Delighting would be the degree or badge that celebrates their achievement, and then we can start growing that relationship by inviting them to the next course. And positioning value prop again, delivering content, and so on. If this is a community program, then the value prop would be networking with peers, getting support. The content could be a tour of the main discussion categories. The nurture can be a prompt to introduce themselves or post the first question. The delight would be, of course, the response from the brand and peers. And we grow that relationship by asking them to post the next question or to become the ones who help. At any step of the journey, of course, our content should be aligned with the personas and interests. Journeys are never as linear or circular as the framework is. I know that. Our customers will jump between devices, follow their own path, skip steps. Life will get in the way, and some will abandon the program for months or even change roles, and what was valuable yesterday is relevant today. as marketing professionals, we have to be ready. A few best practices for personalizing the program journey. Think about all the interactions members have with your program and create communication templates. Explain where they are now and what should be the reasonable next step. What should they do next? Make it easy for people to opt in and out of courses and tracks and activities. Implement reminders based on milestones. So when they reach them, your nurturing is always relevant. Use the info you have to create personalization tokens when you nurture. For example, number of courses completed, last login dates, steps towards a goal, and so on. If recruitment was a point-in-time effort, you only recruit them once. Once members are in your program, you have to go through that wheel again and again. You have to always probe and innovate and remind them about the benefits and keep them engaged. And last but not least, localization. Localization is a great way to personalize. Even smaller brands are global nowadays. And global brands have customers with varied interests, different preferences, sometimes diverging behaviors. They can be spread across geographies. They most likely are. They have different cultures, different traditions, and often different government regulations. Some people are allowed, some people are not allowed to participate in some programs. To deliver the same brand experiences in customer programs that we did in acquisition, where a lot of things are localized, programs should work on personalizing communications or at least adjust to some key cultural differences. Language is, of course, the biggest opportunity, but brands sometimes lack the resources to implement localization in dynamic programs. So many personas, so many countries, so many journeys, so little budget. But localization is not all about the language. It's more about making an effort to respect the culture and individuality of your members. So a few easy wins. Keep your content and value proposition simpler and more visual if your audience is not English native, or if some of them are not. Less theory, more examples. Translate at least the program interface if you can. Allow people to choose their language. It will be helpful for them. And it will also help you understand how many of them prefer it. It will inform your decision to do more if needed. Customize your nurture campaigns around their life and business rhythm and local particularities. Many companies are now mindful of not sending religious best wishes, regardless of how exciting it is to celebrate Christmas. But we can certainly do more. Things like no emailing on Friday for some countries, no nurture campaigns on local public holidays, no wishing happy winter in December to Australia or ever to some other regions are just a few easy wins. And another one that we've tried and worked is to observe when the fiscal year starts and ends in certain countries. The engagement rhythm of your members might depend on the flow of the fiscal. Like if your customers are finance people, don't try to engage them at the end of the quarter, or if they're salespeople. By making your communication and content audience specific, you show your members that you care about them. And this is what will eventually create that long-term trust wherever in the world your clients may be. And that was it. I think we went for a little longer than I intended, but before we take some time for Q&A, I'd like to recap briefly what we covered today. There's increased competition over customer attention, and professionals now have a choice of communities, a choice of education, loyalty, advocacy programs they can participate in. In this context, it's increasingly important to understand the needs of our customers and tailor the value props to each persona. Mapping out their journey allows us to deliver relevant content and cut out unwanted fluff. And localize if we can, but at the very minimum, keep in mind cultural differences. I really, really appreciate your time today. Let's see if we have some questions.